Hello everyone, it's Dove again. So I'm back out here in my Suboverland with my new bed frame. This was two days worth of work or more, just kind of on and off work with my ex, and I just finished it out today. And what we have here is angle iron that was 72 inches long, and I thought that was going to work to be able to go all the way up to there while still being able to get into the glove box. I had it positioned to where 72 inches was right there to back here, and I thought that that was going to work. But then if you look up this way, you can see that I ran into a problem, and that being the problem, and I cannot remove that. And so instead of being able to come all the way back here, I had to stop it where this was because I couldn't bring it all the way back here. And so now instead of 72, my bed is 69 inches long, and it's 24 inches wide from that pillar, and it goes right up to here. So I'm taking up as much of the space as possible. And these are 1x4s. We bought 3 1x4s and cut them to 24 inches. And I sat them in here and spaced them as evenly as I could. And then from the underside, I just took pencil, because it's got all these different various holes. It's really discombobulated. So this was kind of hard to do. But from the underside, I just went in and found, you know, the one as center point as possible, because you can see there's like 4 available. So I could have used either one. So I just went in and picked one, and then I took my pencil and circled that out, and then I took them all out and drilled holes through those. And the reason why it's constructed like this is because I have to make it removable. Sorry about the wind if you're picking up on that. It's really windy today. So I had to make this bed totally removable, because I've already had to replace my blower motor control module, which is underneath the dashboard. That black panel right there, that whole thing has to be dropped, and the blower motor lives under there, and the module that controls it is under there. And unfortunately this year, there's a few years of Suburbans that they had that as a known problem, and so I've already had to replace that once, and if it ever goes out again, I need to be able to get to it. So this whole design was taking that into account so that I can remove this if there's an emergency and I need to get to it. And so down there at that end, again, it's 24 inches across at the top, but because of that, the hump over there and everything, the floor is only 21 inches wide. And so the bed frame had to be built in such a way that, you know, it was still fully supported at the top, but it had to be notched out to allow for all this weird stuff down here. And the same way down here, so we had to notch that out because of that thing. And he took this is all made with 2x2, and he took this wood into work where he's got chop saws and table saws, and this is actually scrap 2x4 he had down at work, so the angles are 2x4, but these parts are all 2x2. And so again, he had to make it in this really weird shape. But these brackets right here, they really help to stiffen up the whole thing, because it was a little bit wobbly beforehand, but once he put these brackets in, it really stiffened everything up. And he's got 2 down there at the end, at the top, as you can see, hopefully. And so when he brought the framing back, it was all this in one piece. This whole thing was in one piece, except for that. That was by itself. And the other one down there too, it was by itself. So this whole thing is one unit, and if I were to have to take the bed apart, I would have to take all the slats out and then unbolt it from the floor. And so because I wanted to not tear up the wood or anything, he had to, you know, design it in such a way that not very much was going to be going through my nice flooring. And because this floor is basically free floating, it's not attached to the actual vehicle underneath, we can pick it up. It actually will raise up about that far. And so what we did was we put some of these boards, we lifted it up and put some of the boards up underneath it, and it just kind of hoisted it up. And so these holes right here, these center ones, he drilled holes all the way through the 2x2, and then we set it in here where we wanted it, and we marked our spot, and we took that out, and we drilled through the flooring, and then we put a flat washer in and the bolt and set it down into place, and he went in there and stuck his arm up underneath the floor and put the nuts in on the bottom side. And so these are the ones he used. Actually, these are the exact ones. So those nuts are on the bottom side of the floor, up underneath the floor. And so this piece will just stay right where it is. And how it would detach is these angle brackets here, those are just regular wood screws. Those would stay in. I would take out these 4 screws from here, and that would free up the bracket so that if I had to take it out, the bracket would literally just lift right up out. The bracket would stay with this framing. And so on the bottom side of here, what he did was drilled 2 holes, again, all the way through the 2x2. And then on the bottom side, I don't know if you guys have ever seen these or not, but these are pronged T-nuts. And so on the bottom side, you can't see it right now, but these little things are up under there. And so he drilled all the way through and then set that down into the hole. That stem sits down into the hole. And then these little pokey things, they actually get dug down into the wood. And so you set that down into your hole, and then you just take a hammer and you tap that down into place. And so on the bottom side of this, there's 2 of these sitting right side by side, and then again down there too, there's 2 more down there. And so I would just take these screws out, and that would free up the bracket, and the block would stay behind, and this would be removed. And so that's how we worked around that. And then up here, for the slats, when I drew the holes on it, I went ahead and numbered all my slats, because the holes they're different for every single one. And so after I drew where I wanted them, I just numbered them. I started there at the top. That's number 1, and I put outside front so that I would know it's the front of the vehicle towards the outside. And so they're just numbered all the way down so that I would know which order they were in. And then I wrote back on that one. And then I took the slats out and I drilled the holes through each one, and then I brought them back in. And I marked the metal with the red marker so that I would know exactly where they were supposed to sit on the metal beam. And these are the screws or the bolts that we used, and they came with the nuts. And then we used these washers, and we used 2 per. And so each hole has a bolt, a flat washer on the bottom side, and then on the top side it has another washer and the nut. And because these were protruding like that, I was worried about having this on the bottom side, because this is going to have stuff all up underneath it, and I was worried that if I was dragging something out that I would catch my knuckle on one of these, and I just didn't want to take that chance. So we just literally put them in upside down, and so if I scrape my hand on anything, it's not going to hurt. It's just that flat, or that curved surface of the screw, because it's not going to matter to the mattress whether it's being poked by the end of the bolt. So that was my workaround for that. And I don't think I needed to put these end pieces on. If you can see, this one is a little bit different than this. I thought I was going to need an end piece to kind of help hold the mattress in place, but at the time when I was doing that, I thought it was going to go all the way back here and I would have plenty of space to do that, but I don't think that's going to work. So I went ahead and ordered the mattress at 69 inches, and I'm either going to rip this piece off, or we'll have to cut a little channel into that foam so that it kind of just sits down in there like a little jigsaw puzzle piece or whatever. And unfortunately, because of everything in the worldwide shortage, the foam mattress will take 8 to 12 days just to process, and then 5 to 6 days for shipping. So it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks possibly before I can have a mattress for this. So I'm definitely not going to be able to take any trips or anything, but at least this part's done. It's secured. It's very, very secure to the floor. It's not going anywhere. It does have a little bit of wobble over there, but you know, hopefully it'll be okay. If I find that it's not okay, we'll just go ahead and put braces in here somewhere, somehow, like right at that pillar, and then right here, because there is just the very slightest, I don't know if you can see that, yeah, there's the very slightest movement. So I don't know, maybe we're not done. Maybe we will have to go ahead and put some wood supports here, just 2 of them, and deal with that. But I think it's a pretty good start. It's sturdy. I think it'll hold my weight just fine. So we will see. And then the only other thing that we got done over the Labor Day weekend was this, my vertical wall. So back beyond that is my refrigerator freezer, and so now I have this little cubby in here, and I'll just have shelves in here. We haven't attached the top, so that's why there's that gap up there, because it's just kind of sitting up there. So we haven't attached it with brackets. We've got brackets down here at the bottom, and then up here it's just nailed in. He took it from this side and put nails in to the top up there just to hold it in place. So it's definitely not done, but at least we have that in there. I think it looks pretty good. Besides, I mean, you can see the gaps and everything. It's not perfect, but nothing in this rig is square, and so I can't expect perfection. I've tried to make this video like 3 or 4 times. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. If I am, please forgive me. Oh, and I wanted to show you the refrigerator, the slide out drawer. I didn't think it was gonna move. Like when I took off, I didn't think it was going to move, but the first time that I went somewhere with that refrigerator back there, the first time I took off, it slid, and I wasn't giving it any gas. I wasn't stepping on it. I mean, I've got all my stuff back here, but it did move, and it slammed up against the tailgate, and it freaked me out. I'm like, oh my god, what was that? And I turned around and I realized that it was moving. And so we had to come in and put a little slide lock on here because it certainly didn't take much effort at all for it to come out, and so I had to lock it in place. And so there she is. I still have to wrap it with Reflectix. But yeah, it was moving. I thought it would stay, but it didn't. Ooh, sorry about the wind, guys. Oh, there's my car door. Keeps slamming on me. So, that's it, I guess, for my update. Hope you guys had a good Labor Day. And you're all doing well. I showed you. I can get in here. Just barely, but I can get in here. So, that works. Alright guys, I will talk to you again some other time. Bye.